Hey, it's Miss Lauren, the OT here, and I am going to make a house today. And this one goes out to Landon to show him the full process of me trying to make a house. But I do want to tell you in advance that I have had some experience making houses before. This is, it's called a Putz house that I made a few years ago, and I have directions for it. So this is something that I have done, so I have some experience making these, and I'm not doing this completely for the first time ever. But I'm going to try to make one without directions, and I'm going to try to make it a little bit more complicated than that one. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we go. All right, so I've made a cube and a house before, so I know the general layout is going to be, let's see, this is the biggest piece I have right now too, so it's going to be kind of small. Okay. Use my straight edge. Okay. Try to make it about the same height. Marking off how wide I made this one. I'm going to make it a little thinner on this side. Okay. So I know that I have to make all four sides in one. I'm going to leave a little extra on the edge so that I can tape it together or glue it maybe. Okay, I'm going to use my straight edge to make these lines down. See, and I'm using this bottom fold to line it up along the bottom so that I make it the right angle. Okay. I need this. So these two sides are going to be the same, and these two are going to be the same. Let's see. So I'm making a triangle on top of these two because I want to make it have an arched roof. Okay. Let's see. If I leave this on, I might be able to make a floor, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna cut along the same line, just to the top here. Okay. Or just to the bottom, sorry. So I'm gonna try to make a house with a floor and a roof. And the roof is gonna have to be a separate part because I already cut that part out. All right, so let's see. So now I'm gonna fold along. I'm gonna try to make this be the outside. So I have to fold these in. I'm gonna fold along my vertical lines that I made. Again, I kind of already know this general idea because I've made cubes before. I can show you how to make a cube in a different video if you want. So I'm going to try this first, and then if it works, I will do a tutorial for you at the end. Okay, so if you see when you fold them all up, and I left a little extra on the end here so that I can tape it on the inside. There's a little flap there I can tape. All right, so let's see if this will work to have a floor. Okay, that's actually, I got lucky with that. That's a good size for a floor. So kind of like a box has little flaps that you fold up. But if these were any longer, it wouldn't work. So if you make them a little bit smaller, I'm just gonna cut those down a little bit. Let's see how that goes. This one too. Get my tape. Go ahead and tape that together. There we go. Here's some tape. I don't know where my Scotch tape is, so I'm using painter's tape. So for this to tape down on the inside, let's see, I'm gonna get it ready by putting the sticky side face out on the inside flap. Bring it around. Okay, and so I'm still gonna need some tape on the outside of that didn't stay closed. I might, let's see, since I don't really want my blue tape on the outside, I'm gonna make a little tape ball and stick it inside. And if you're using glue, the flap would be good to put the glue on. Let's see, so I'm putting my tape ball on the inside and then squeezing it. Okay. So I'm gonna close my little flaps here. Let's see. Try to do it like a box. So, let's see. If you've ever taken apart a box, then you'll have an idea of how to do this. But let's see, that's on the outside. It can be tricky. Little, so it's hard also. Let's see. Trying to get that last flap on the underneath. There we go. Oh, that doesn't work. They're not the right size for doing that. Okay, So I'm not gonna make it like a box. I'm just gonna tape down the bottom. If your first idea doesn't work, you can always think of a different idea to get the same thing done. There's more than one way to do things, most of the time. And if something doesn't work, you just try again until you can figure it out. Sometimes it takes a lot of extra tries, and sometimes you get lucky and it works on the first try. Sometimes it takes a second try, third try, a lot of tries sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see. So I've got my basic house shape, and then I'm going to, let's see, that's my straight edge. I don't want to use that piece. I'm going to take another piece from here. I'm going to try to make this roof all in one piece. So here we go. I'm going to cut off the little bottom there. Let me see if I can see how long it needs to be. So I want it to hang over a little bit. So I'm going to kind of use my house to measure here. So I'm going to fold it here. Let's see. So I'm going to measure it by holding it up to here to see how far I want it to hang off. I'm going to make a little measurement for where the top angle is going to be. And I'm going to kind of flip it on that spot so I can see how far I want it to go on the other end and where I want that to hang over. All right, so that should hopefully be the right measurement. So I'm going to line up my bottom with there. Okay, so that's, yeah, here we go. All right, so I have to line up my bottom with the side so that it's the right angle. All right, so that's where I'm going to cut, and then here's where I marked the top of my house. This is where I'm going to fold. So now I have to cut out that piece. And a lot of these methods that I'm doing, I know because I've made a lot of things in the past. So I have experience and I've done a lot of trial and error before that's helping me now. All right, so here we go. Fold this one. Let's see. Okay, so that's going to hang off a little bit on all the sides, which is kind of what I wanted. Let's see. Okay, now how to tape it on. I don't know if I'll be able to tape it on without the blue showing. Let's see, because if I hadn't closed this already, then I could kind of go in from the outside. So let's see, let me do that. All right, so I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna have to redo that. Get my tape. Okay. Okay, and actually I'm gonna put it on here. Okay, here we go. So instead of doing both sides at the same time, I'm gonna do one side at a time. So let me see here. Let's try this. Okay, that seems to work. It's not quite centered. So let me do that again. So it's still not perfectly in the center. Try that again. Let's see. It's a little bit better. Okay, I'll take that. All right, so a piece of tape for the other side. So I'm gonna kind of put it halfway on this piece, and then I'm gonna kind of fold it over a little bit so that it'll go flat on this roof piece. Okay, I'm gonna push from the inside. Okay. Oh, see, now it's a little bit too far over, so I have to put it, there we go. Okay. So I really want to get up in that fold. Oops. Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit better. Here we go. A little off center still, that's okay. Does not have to be perfect, that's for sure. All right, so let me get another piece of tape. This one's gonna be too long. Tear off a little bit of that. Okay. And I might try and do these both at the same time so that I can put the roof down and reach it both from the inside. Okay. So I've got my tape. Fold that down a little bit. And I can't reach in there, so I'm going to push with my pen that doesn't have the pen part out. Let's see. If you're using glue instead of the tape, you could have little pieces of paper that you glue where the tape is. Yeah, so definitely a little off center. See how this side hangs over a little bit more than that one? That's okay. Okay. If I wanted to correct that, I could take off the roof and do it again, but I am not too worried about it being a little bit off center. All right, so now, oh, let me see. I did want to make a door. So, okay. So my door is going to be about here. And this might have been better to do when I first cut it out before I taped it together, but that's okay. I can still work with it. All right, so I'm going to cut up the door. In there, over just a little bit. And I'm going to have to cut over on the bottom too so that it can open. And then fold that. Okay, so there's my door. And windows are really tricky to do, so those would probably be best done with the help of a parent. And since I already taped mine together, I'm not gonna make windows now for you. But if you're a parent, you would, if you have like box cutters, or you could kind of open up the scissors and try to do it like that, but it can be pretty tricky if you don't have like a box cutter or something like that. All right, so I'm going to tape this with this extra piece of tape that I have just to reinforce it a little bit so that that doesn't open up. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I can tape the bottom again. I could get a new piece of tape that would stick a little bit better, but I'm just going to use this other one. Okay. And I can reach inside the door to help kind of squeeze that tape down a little bit. Okay. So here is a house with a door, but no windows. All right, let's see. I could, if I wanted to make windows, I could also cut from the, should I try, maybe I'll try to make windows. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to tape this back together. Let's see. Let's try this. So I want my windows to be square. Trying not to cut too much. So I'm gonna have to tape that back together. That's okay. Let's see, I'm gonna try to cut from the same place out. There we go. Yeah. So if you want windows without having to tape back the walls, you're gonna need to get help from an adult and use a box cutter or something like that, or an X-Acto knife. All right, there we go. So let me try and tape those back together. Okay, let me see if I can get one piece that'll fit that. Maybe not. So I have to get some little pieces. There we go. So since I can put my finger in that door, I'm gonna do that just so I have something to push against. Okay. I was gonna try to have no tape showing, but that's okay. Not a biggie. Okay. Tape down on the outside. I'm gonna fold it around the back so that it reinforces that a little bit. Okay. So now I have a house with 2 front windows. Just a little bit of tape there, that's okay. Yeah, if I wanted to make windows in the back, I would have had to have done that before I taped the house together. I could untape the house and put windows in there, but I don't know if I'm gonna have time for that right now. So there is my house. It's got a little bit of blue on it, that's okay. Cool. So I'm going to make a new video so that I can show you how to do this with windows. So since I figured out that I need to make the windows before I put the house together, then the next time I try, which is going to be my next video, I'm going to make the windows before I put the house together, because in this I learned that that didn't really work because I can't make windows now, at least not very easily. I'd have to take it apart. Okay, so now, and it'd probably be easier to make the door first also. Cool. So there's my little house. And let's see. I also try to, that's okay. That's not bad. We'll see. So I'll make a new video to show you how to make your own house like this. All right. All right, so here is my house. It's not perfect, that's okay. But I learned a few things when I made it. I learned that I have to make the windows before I put it together, because otherwise it's gonna be really hard to make windows afterwards. And I learned that depending on the size of the flaps that you have on the bottom, you can't really do it like a box. And it took me a little while to kind of center, and it's still not really centered, but that's okay. So this is my house, and I will make a new tutorial with how to make your own house. See you later.